The Animal Kingdom pirates are a large organisation. They'd have to be to occupy an entire country like Wano, and as such there are a few options if you want to build an Animal Kingdom themed deck in the purple card pool. To analyse the Animal Kingdom cards in Romance Dawn, I'll split the different archetypes, themes and strategies into separate videos so that they'll be nice and short and digestible, and for this video I will be going over the Smile Devil Fruit cards. The artificial devil fruit created by Caesar Clown, codenamed Smile, turns its eater into a poor imitation of a Zoan type, usually. And it features on this card that, at the cost of 2 Don, will look at the top 5 cards of your deck and play a character card with the Smile trait that costs 3 or less. If it wasn't for this card, you probably wouldn't build a deck centered entirely around the gifters, as there aren't a lot of them in this set, nor are any of them that great, but this card at the very least suggests it's worth running a few. This may be an archetype that gets more support down the line, but for now, if you want to use this card, it will feel bad to pay 2 for it and not find a Smile card from it. So we're going to want to run enough 3 cost or less Smile cards for it to be worth playing. Let's have a look at which characters we can play from it. And the good news is that there are a couple of decent cards to play off it. Hold'em has 4,000 power, and he has the skill that on KO, he will bring out an extra Don from your Don deck. I like cards like this that give your opponent a choice they don't want to make. They can either KO it and give you that extra Don, or they can ignore it and just let you keep attacking with it. Bohang has a nice thematic ability, putting her spy abilities to use to see 2 cards from your opponent's hand. Hand knowledge is always valuable, and though you don't get to see their entire hand, they don't get to choose which cards they're going to show you. So if you're lucky, you will see something that they didn't want you to see. Rounding up what can be played off the Smile fruit, there is Speed, Sheep's Head and Gin Rummy. So not a great deal can be played off it. You will probably want to run all of these character cards to make it consistent, or at least a good amount of them. This will result in somewhat of a low-cost beatdown deck, and with Purple's ramp ability, it shouldn't be a problem having enough Don to attach to all these weak cards, making them strong enough to attack. And then it won't be too much stress to use some of your minus Don abilities. But there are some Smile cards at the higher end of cost. The Manslayer costs 4 with 5,000 power, and on KO, for the cost of -1 Don, he will KO one of your opponent's 5 cost or lower characters. Babanuki is just a big old beat stick. For the cost of 5, he has 7,000 power. Orochi here doesn't have the Smile trait, but he does go with this deck as he has the ability on play to grab a Smile fruit from your deck. Orochi's descendants are also here. Semimaru prevents other Kurozumi family cards from being KO'd in battle, which combos well with Higurashi, who is a blocker. In the Smile traded event cards, there's Elephant's Machu, which KOs a 2 cost or less and then ramps a Don. And then Sheep's Horn rests one of your opponent's 6 cost or lower character cards. I think it's fair to say that's not enough to be the main focus of a deck, so you'll be wanting to use these cards to supplement your other strategies, depending on what they are. Aside from Orochi grabbing the fruit, there aren't any searches that specifically target the Smile trait, and if your aim is just to get bodies on board for cheap with the Smile fruit, you won't need to run all these other cards. That means there'll be plenty of room left in the deck to put other Animal Kingdom Pirates cards in the deck, like Kaido, Ulti, Page 1, and whoever else. Like I said, I'll go over the other purple cards in another video, so until then, subscribe to know when that video is up, follow me on Twitter at HackyLessons, and I'll see you then.